Hi everyone, Soul Super 17 here. Let me first, like usual, I don't want the picture. I made the thumbnail for it, but not a paid video. Alright, okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, Deku's gonna become a Grave Walker, but I mean not Deku, Naruto. Sorry. I was thinking of a different Deku. What if at the moment the Black Panther one? How he gets the powers and he has a quirk basically. You'll see. But anyways, I'm continuing on what I'm saying. The thing is, we're not having Naruto be in Middle Earth, or Mordor and all that. Basically everything happens from the Middle Earth game, like in canon. So Talion's gone, but there's a key difference is that Celebrimbor does die, but something happens to Sauron. Sauron. I believe I'm saying it right. I'll find out later, but just know I pronounce it wrong, and it's gonna happen. So, anyways, though, here's the thing. Sauron made another ring of power. But this one had a special, markings on it to give the power of the race, basically abilities and such, like increased strength and such. For the L's, basically what they would have, great magic, speed, strength, agility, and such, and even disappear. But the key difference is this one, that this will basically, when Sauron's dying, his soul and consciousness will be sent to the ring, and the ring will then be teleported somewhere into the world. And so it has been thousands of years since, Middle Earth, Mordor, everything happened from the Lords of the Ring, movies, books, whatever. But the thing is, though, they did not get great in technology. They went into the ninja age, basically, and summonings and all that. But in this case, the ring of power was never found because it was in one of the five nations. The five nations were not part of Mordor or Middle Earth, so no one knows what happened. They know the legends and went all over the world, and some people from the five nations found these legends and brought them back over to their villages. And so the thing that happened is, though, someone found the ring. It's the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju. He is holding the ring, and he can feel immense power coming from it. Darkness, basically he can sense dark, basically dark evil being a part of it. Sauron's thinking, he could be good, he's powerful, and since this age of ninjas, I can only go so far from the ring before I come back to it, that I couldn't learn much. My magic's also limited since I don't have no one to, take over. So Hashirama Senju himself says, this ring, it has a great power, but great evil coming from it. I must seal it away, far from anyone's eyes. So, that's what he did. He sealed it away into a tomb. And because of this, many years passed. Sauron has, found the Hidden Leaf Village. It was actually, for him, it was actually not that far. He was able to at least go so far as Ichiraku Ramen. But he took an interest in somebody. A child with spiky blue hair, blue eyes, and whiskers on his face, it looks like. And he goes, what? How is this possible? Is he some sort of beast human? I mean, he doesn't really understand it, but hey. So basically he kept an eye on, he basically watched Naruto's life as, long as he could see it. And he saw a lot of pain and suffering from Naruto. The Dark Lord himself grew somewhat, well, he became, since he had no one, he became, he did lose some of his memories and such because of all the years. But he always, made laws or, use a little bit of magic to, make him remember everything. So he is evil, but he basically grew a kind, some of a kindness to people because of one reason. I mean, he basically sees someone suffering that's a kid, and I mean, he is a Dark Lord. He has killed a lot, but this, I mean, he had over time to think of everything to plan, but even he did not suspect for humans to be this cruel to their own, people. But he did sense something from Naruto, something enormous. So like he does have half the QB inside of him, enormous power coming from him, but he doesn't know. So we're gonna skip to when Naruto is about 11 years old. You see, in this case, a lot more than I led on about like Mordor, Middle Earth, you know, the magic. Basically, if you realize I'm wondering, is magic still around? No, magic was being forgotten, was not being used no more. And then basically Kaguya came around and did the whole entire chakra ninjutsu. Sauron doesn't really know this, so he doesn't know what chakra is. But anyways, yeah. So basically, chakra replaced magic. Okay. So yeah. Anyways, I know I didn't say this is basically Naruto became a Grey Walker part 1, but you guys already know I already started. But yeah. So, we're technically going to when Naruto is being chased by these mysterious beings, these ninjas. They are technically rogue ninjas of the Hidden Leaf Village. These are ninjas who had escaped capture from Anbu and from the Hokage, basically, even Danzo. My original idea was technically have Danzo have, found the ancient text of magic, but converted it into a ninjutsu or a talisman, and the same process like with Talion happens. But the thing is, why not this one? It's basically rogue ninjas. Basically, found the ancient text of magic on how to basically, to kill off the QB and Naruto for good. So basically, Naruto is running away. And, when he's running away, he's like, what the hell are these guys? Why are they after me? What did I do? He's just running, jumping through the trees, as best as he can. As well, when he basically running, he looks back, he sees a shuriken, coming at him. He ducks, but he trips, rolling into, the seal basically that was holding the ring, and it's just on a pedestal basically, but it's like old and like brittle, so when he hits it there's like a little slope, and Sauron is there because he was thinking, should I go see how this boy's doing again? It has been quite a while, a year or two. So this one basically, how can I say this? The seal was a door, but with many different talisman, papers on it. And yeah. So basically, then when Naruto crashed right into it, breaking the seals, Sauron sees him as Naruto's body hits the pedestal. Basically, he does all of a sudden, the ring falls off and it bounces as Naruto sees it. He's like, what the? So he grabs the ring and he puts it on. Sauron's thinking, oh, this will be interesting. I won't reveal myself yet. So, if you guys are wondering, shouldn't he technically get some power from it? Yes. But the thing is, Naruto, he already had an increase in strength, but I'm technically saying, since he's just a kid, it doesn't give him that much of a bigger strength and speed. So when Naruto basically sees it, all like gets up. He's basically trying. He's about to look around and see. All of a sudden, multiple like ropes are being tied around him, and he's being restrained. He was like, "What the? What's happening?" And then he looks back. He sees these guys and Oni mask basically just looking at him, and they just don't say anything. Why? Why are you doing this? What did I do? I know I did a lot of pranks in the village, but... And the one man says, "We are not here. And we're not here from the village. We're here to end you accursed fox." It's like, what? What do you mean? Hold on real quick. Okay, so, sorry, I had to have a drink. Water. So, anyways. As... Like I said, Naruto was like, wait, what? So... This man with a sword already wrote down, like, the seals on it. And Dart starts doing hand signs. And, well, basically, in this, they modify it to where they don't need to have, multiple sacrifices or something. It's just like, they can just kill him off. So... I'm just like modifying it to where it'll work, in my opinion. So basically, they well, the dude just basically stabs Naruto in the heart, finishing the chant, removes the sword, and they just leave him to die. That's how it is, and they just all nod and go away. You see. The Zambu that were following them do not realize, like, they just see them going. They don't even check to see if, the actual... It was like a, like I said, the doorway that led into a little cave, basically. They don't even notice that. And so, as Naruto is dying, Sauron says... This is a perfect opportunity. You will become a grave walker because of that chant. Those fools. And so Sauron, like for, Talion with Celebrimbor, they, become one person, basically. They'll be connected. So, because of this, Naruto is, knocked out for a couple of hours. And if you're thinking about Kurama, yes, Kurama was technically going to be dead, if you really think about it. But the thing is, because of Sauron, Sauron basically merging with Naruto, becoming part of his soul, he technically would stay alive. As, someone's walking through into, Kurama, like, the domain where Kurama is, as Kurama goes like, "What? Who are you?" Basically like that, and they say Sauron says, "I am the Dark Lord, Sauron. It's a pleasure to meet you, creature." He's like, "What? Creature? Dark Lord." He's like, "I've been forgotten for centuries, but you'll know of me through this." As then all of a sudden he starts chanting with some magic, as then, Kurama will basically see Sauron's memories. And so he, Kurama then goes back to, put his head on his arms. He's like, "I see. Well then, welcome, and thank you for keeping me alive." He goes, "It's my pleasure. Besides, I have a feeling we will be quite good allies." So basically Kurama says, "So, what about me if the kid ever tries to die?" He was like, "Oh, he won't. He's in a perpetual cycle of rebirth and death. He can never die. Nor will he ever live a normal life no more." That basically spell they used. They probably modified it to some degree. What was those markings on the sword? As then Kurama says, "Sealing jutsu." Like, a sealing what? He was like, "Allow me to explain chakra then." So basically he explains about chakra and about himself, the Sage of Six Paths, and he goes like, "Interesting. So I've been gone for that long. I was asleep for a good hundreds of years. So I guess by that time, right around when chakra came about, I awoken. I see. Magic has been forgotten. Which Kurama nods. So, he does ask though, what is your plan? Which Sauron would technically say, for now, the boy will have to get used to this new life. But he will still age until his prime. The ring will not allow a child to hold on to it for long. So, I would do a magical spell that will allow him to age still. But as soon as he hits his prime, his, adult age, he'll stop aging altogether. And then we'll have to find a way for him to die if he ever wants to. Which Kurama nods. And so, when Naruto wakes up, he goes, my chest hurts. Wait, what happened? As in, he remembers him getting stabbed, and, he checks his chest. There's no markings on, no marks on him. And no stab wound. He goes like, what the hell am I alive? And then Sauron says, appears, basically, like, basically that, flaming eye with a person and, looks like a figure in the middle. Yeah, that's how he appears. But he's in his elf form, not armor form. As he goes, what the? He goes, Naruto, Uzumaki, it's finally good to see you. Or should I say, to talk to you in person. He's like, wait, how do you know me? He was like, oh, allow me to explain myself. So he tells him who he is. Not the whole, story, just his name, what race he was a part of, and what happened to him. So then he was evil and such, but he's been gone for so long, everyone forgot about him. Which he goes, wait, you're Sauron, the Dark Lord? He goes, oh, you heard of me? He goes, yeah, a couple years back, some ninjas came back from a different country, and there was legends of a Dark Lord named Sauron. He had this thing called the Ring of Power, but there was a hobbit who destroyed it. And, he goes, basically Sauron goes like, oh. Well, I made another ring, just in case of my death. And since that, I even put my soul will be a part of it in my consciousness. So technically, I am what you can call a wraith. But you, on the other hand, are now a grave walker. He goes, a grave walker? He goes, yes. Unfortunately, you are technically in between life and death. You are neither dead nor alive. And through the laws of nature, you are an abomination. A creature that should never have existed. But those idiots, ninjas, use an ancient spell probably from, one of my books. Because that was dark magic. But they turned it into a jutsu. They thought it would probably kill you. Put you in a state between life and death. They do not know that it would technically make you come back to life over and over after death. Which Naruto's eyes widened. He was like, what? And as fate would have it, you hold the Ring of Power. And from what I could gather from your furry friend, that's it, a part of you too. It seems you are called a Jinchuriki, one with, increased strength. So, even though you are strong already as a child, you have to train. Well, I'll have to help you train. But he was like, but, how? If I'm dead, I can't become a ninja or Hokage. And he was, do not worry, child. Here. As basically, he starts to do a little bit of magic as Naruto's body glows. He goes like, huh? He goes, your body will age like normal. I can only do that much. I don't know if there's any way to revive you to end your. Well, this is a curse. Which Naruto is shocked by this. What about. Wait, furry friend? He goes, oh, yes, you are the Nine-Tailed Fox Jinchuriki. He was like, wait, that means I have the Nine-Tails inside of me? He was like, yes. I mean, I thought it was quite obvious. Everyone's been calling you Demon Fox. But she's like, oh, okay. So, should I get going back to the village? He goes, for now, I do not want to conquer or destroy anything. So, I want to see where this goes. Which she was like, okay. Which Naruto's just thinking, what happened to me? How did my life get all turned around? So, yeah. When Naruto leaves the little cave, he basically, sees everything, but for some reason, it's like there's. Naruto's eyes are going to be glowing blue because I just want to say that's a Grave Walker ability, to basically wraith sight. So it doesn't matter if Celebrimbor or Sauron. And also, I didn't like Celebrimbor that much. I don't know why. Just didn't like Celebrimbor. Also, the betrayal. So yeah, that didn't help either. So, anyways, when Naruto's seen this, he's like, "What the? Why does the world look like shadows, fire, basically the light of creatures, having energy coming off of them?" He was, yes. He was like, "This is Wraith sight. You basically can see almost anything, not see through walls, but can tell where your enemies are in the dark. It comes in handy for sneaking around." He's like, amazing. Which Naruto was walking through the forest, and when he gets back to the village, it is around. It was basically like in the afternoon, so he was running for he was past. Basically he was unconscious for about 3 hours. So let's just say it's around 7 o'clock. No one saw Naruto. Ichiraku. I mean, the Ichiraku ramen people were, basically worried about him. And Naruto does get back. And there is a different aura around Naruto. He's walking around, and he's still trying to process everything. So when he gets to Ichiraku ramen, basically the ramen guy's like, "Naruto, where have you been? I was worried about you." He's like, "Oh, I was just in the forest outside the village." He's like, what happened? He's like, I basically tripped and hit my head. I was, I think, passed out for a couple of hours. Which he was like, "Okay, Naruto, should you go to the hospital?" He's like, "No, I healed pretty quickly. I'm fine." He's like, "Are you sure?" He was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Alright. Here." Basically, he starts making Naruto ramen, but instead of one bowl, he gives him two. He was like, "But I can't pay." He goes, "It's on the house. Just eat." He missed the lunch, and and we're nearly about to miss dinner. That's the least I could do. It's like, thanks. So Naruto eats his bowls of ramen. And, well, he does have a big appetite. So, but, Naruto likes to pay for his meals. So, he only will take, 1 or 2 bowls of ramen. As, from the ramen guy whenever he can. So, yeah. So, after basically him eating, he does head home. As, well, Sauron appears. But I want to say Sauron has the ability to do some stuff that, as a wraith, that should be, not possible, but hey. So, basically, all of a sudden, Naruto sees a little nine-tailed fox in his, arms. He's like, What? He was like, oh, this is the fox that I was talking about. As Kurama goes like, when you said you could bring me out into the real world, I didn't expect it like this. Which Naruto was like, okay, that is the nine-tailed fox. He was like, uh-huh. He's a lot bigger on the inside, the seal. Don't worry. There's just one way I could just bring him out. As he basically puts down Kurama as Kurama suddenly grows into an actual fox with nine tails, not looking like Kurama. You guys can find any picture of a nine-tailed fox. Imagine it whatever version way you want, I guess. So a natural fox one, not you know what I mean. So basically, Kurama's like, huh. Well, this is interesting. Which, well, Sauron goes like, just a little bit of magic. Anyways, Naruto, you should really get some rest. Tomorrow, after the academy, we're gonna start your training. You're gonna need to find a sword. I was like, wait, didn't you use a mace? He was like, yes, but... how should I say this? I want you to try what will work better for you. So, right. So basically, after that, Naruto, sleeps and stuff. Kurama is still there. He's like, is there any changes gonna happen? Which Sauron nods. He goes, someone's gonna try to pick a fight with him tomorrow, I think. And when they do, they will realize they are nothing more than mere insects to him. Which Kurama legit can tell he is not lying. So, after, Naruto sleeps and stuff, him waking up, needing his breakfast and such, and then basically Sauron says, really, just ramen? He's like, it's the only thing I can afford. It's like, my apologies. He's like, it's fine. He goes, well then, I can also teach you how to hunt. And, well, find actual food that actually can be edible for you. Which he goes, wait, seriously? He goes, yes. So, we'll do that also after school. It's like, right. So basically Sauron, is always with Naruto, like Caliburn is, but just appears whenever. And when Naruto gets to the school, I want to say in this one, no one really likes Naruto in this. I'm talking about, people in the class don't like him, including Hinata. But I do want to say he does have some friends. But the thing is, though, if you guys are gonna wonder what's the ship in this one, it's not gonna be Sakura, so don't worry. But I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, so when Naruto gets into the classroom, everyone's just looking at him. He's just thinking on how he can get a sword all this time. He can't afford one, even if he tries to. They'll just have the price up, even though when it says differently. They always charge him, he thinks. So Naruto sits down at the window seat, which technically there's never been anyone there. Sitting next to him. This is where he sits. Some people just the people who sit there just take their seats and put them somewhere else. Iruka is the only person that actually would care Naruto from the classroom. So Iruka and him still have that brother relationship. But Iruka's not in the class right now, so cocky Sasuke. As Sasuke comes over to Naruto, he's like, "Hey, dope. What happened to you yesterday when you're supposed to meet up with someone?" He goes like, "Oh, yeah. I don't really care right now." Which that kind of surprised because it was with Sakura. Which she's shocked. Basically, he's like, "Really?" And he's like, come on, everyone knows you like her. He's like, huh? Oh. Yeah, I got over it. Which she's thinking to himself, wait, why am I over it? Isn't Sauron just says, well, this is a little bit of, side of me. It's like, huh? He's like, I can be heartless at times and manipulative, and they would say I have a silver tongue. My words are more powerful than my, magic. It's like, oh, he's saying to himself. And, well, technically, Sauron also says, I did see about your memories and such, so I guess maybe a little bit my personality has influenced you. He was like, oh, no, this is how I really think. Actually, I just wonder why I'm saying it out loud. Which Sasuke's like, really? He's like, yeah, I know you two are dating, so why should I even care? As everyone is shocked by that, and basically Sasuke's like, wait, how did you? He's like, oh, it's easy. I mean, basically, you and Sakura have been hanging out. The only reason why no other girl knows is because, well, you two played it off so well that you don't like each other. But I was passing by an alleyway when I heard, someone making out, or say just kissing and giggling. And then when I saw it was just you and her, it didn't really bother me. And I didn't really care. Why would I like anyone who basically ignores me, looks at me, basically like saying I'm annoying? And, well, to be honest, she's too much of a, airhead. She thinks she knows everything, yet I know Shikamaru is smarter than her. Which Shikamaru is like, okay, I like this Naruto. Yeah, I did forget to, no one liked him in the class, yeah, I did say that, but, I mean, he had some friends. Shikamaru and Choji, always friends. So, yeah, he likes this new Naruto speaking up. Which Sasuke's like, and then he just looks over at Sasuke and goes like, why do you like a girl who's only good at, maybe genjutsu and nothing else? She's basically useless. And she calls me useless. I wonder why you haven't dated Ino. I mean, she's a lot more better than her. At least she has way more ability to fight, can take over someone's mind, force them to basically, give up, and in a fight, or basically kill themselves before she dies. The same way they do. And may I even add that, most of the guys here would technically want to ask her out. So, yeah. And then he just gets up towards Sasuke and he goes like, and basically just whispers in his ears like, and besides, you're the last Uchiha. Besides your brother. Do you really think your parents will love it if you basically, are dating somebody who can't even help you unless you have to train her yourself? Where Sasuke gets pissed, he's grabbing Naruto by, the shirt, which everyone's, shocked by this, and he goes like, what? I was asking a question. And the obvious answer is yes. So, come on. Do you know to get mad? He's like, don't you dare speak about my parents. You know nothing of them. And he's like, and I have no parents. So how about that? He was like, you're just a useless idiot. You know that? You can't do anything right. And no one will ever love you. Your parents probably just... As then, all of a sudden Naruto grabs Sasuke by the throat and lifts him up in the air, which everyone is shocked by this. Also, by the way, Naruto, the Ring of Power, yeah. While Naruto was sleeping, I did forget to mention Sauron put a spell on it to make it where it looks like markings on his finger, which if the actual ring did become a part of Naruto, so it's not going to leave him. Unless you cut off his finger or hand. So yeah, so when he says that, when basically Naruto grabs him, basically by the throat, lifts him up, his eyes start glowing red. Not the Kurama way, but flame red. He goes like, don't you ever speak about my parents. I don't care if they abandoned me. And I don't even know why and what happened. All I know is they died during the Nine Tails attack. So, Uchiha brat, shut up. As when he basically tries to throw Sasuke to, lightly towards the ground, he gets sent flying and into the wall. which everyone's shocked by. And even Naruto is too. Iruka came in after he heard like the bang, and it did totally crack the wall too. Like when Sasuke hit it, it cracked the wall and went all the way to the other side. And when Iruka came in, he sees Sasuke. He asks, "What happened?" As they all point to Naruto. As Naruto's eyes are still glowing red, flaming, flames in his eyes, which Iruka's like, "Wait, what the?" As it starts dying down, when Naruto's like, "Huh, how did I do that?" Which Sakura's like, "How dare you hurt Sasuke?" And she tries to punch him. Iruka, Tenley is about to run over and try and stop her. Naruto just blocks her with a finger. Legit. He's like, "Oh, sorry. I thought you were just a freaking fly." And he basically, puts his finger away. He's like, "Okay, try." She goes, "Huh? Come on, try." He's like, pointing his, poking his cheek. He's like, "You want to hit me for hurting your boyfriend? Go on. It's not like he's gonna hurt. It never has. You're just weak." Which, she's shocked by this. Which Iruka's like, "Naruto." He's like, "Oh, Iruka-sensei, hey. Sorry about Sasuke. He, how should I say? He basically explained what he said to, what happened between him and Sasuke. And that, he was basically, and what was gonna happen yesterday. He even says about this, some stuff happened that he needs to say in private. And go to the Hokage fuller. He'll explain everything about that later, but, then he said about Sasuke's parents. And then he said about the obvious answer would be yes, they would be proud of him. And that, then he started going on about, how he was useless and stuff, and then about his parents. Which, Iruka sighs. He was like, okay. Technically, it was both your faults, so you both will basically have to do something this weekend. He's like, Naruto says okay. He's like, but he's the one who, and basically Iruka says, and yet you were basically calling someone who doesn't even know their parents, saying about their own parents, he knows they died during the Nine Tails attack. My parents were lost there too. Which everyone was shocked by that, and so he goes, but anyways, let's get to the lesson. As Naruto is, paying attention, he's taking notes, he's starting to realize his intelligence is technically, more than what it was. And, yeah. Technically making Naruto gain an intelligence, basically becoming smarter over time. So, yeah. So, basically, after that, Sauron and Naruto, go walking into the village, goes to, a weapon shop. And that this weapon shop does, like everyone else in the village, don't like Naruto. So, he basically goes around the back, and he finds, some swords that were out of style, and they were basically gonna go to the blacksmith. He basically just took the random one and just ran. And when he gets outside the village, this is when Sauron starts to tell Naruto, your training will also be your hunting now. So come. So basically, he teaches Naruto about hunting and everything that he needs to know. So basically, Naruto, through Sauron's teaching, figures out how to do more than certain things. So we're gonna be doing a little bit of time skip when he's 13, so from 11 to 13. So during this 2 years, Naruto has technically became smarter. He's able to do at least some magic. None of the levels of Sauron, because it would be technically years to master, but at least enough for him to, use basically like Shadow Walk. Hold on, or Wraith Walk. Sorry about that, I was coughing. So, yeah. So basically he's able to sneak in the library and write down some jutsus. Heck, he even told the Hokage, along with, well, Hiruzen, but they also sent somebody nearby, and, well, let's just say, Naruto punched this person right in the stomach, knocking them out, which was one of Danzo's men. Which surprised, well, Hiruzen and Uruka, and the Anbu that were in there. In which Naruto says, "Is this one of your guys?" Which basically Hiruzen nods no. He was like, "Oh, alright then. I guess it was good I punched him in the stomach, knocking him out." Which Hiruzen was like, "Naruto, how are you?" He's like, "That's the thing, Sauron, can you show yourself to them?" He's like, "Yes." So basically the whole entire, flaming eye thing happens, and then Sauron comes out, basically revealing himself not in his armor, as Hiruzen is shocked by this, and he goes like, "Hello there, Third Hokage. I am Sauron, the Dark Lord. It's a pleasure to meet you, human." He's like, but, yes. It seems my kind has been gone for centuries, along with the dwarfs and dragons, and the Uruks, but not the Nazguls. Like, I need to double check that. Yep, I was right. And then he says, "Oh, yes, the Witch Queen, the Witch King. He's also probably still around too." Which, they're, shocked by this, and including the Anbu. He's like, "But, why are you here, and how is it Naruto able to talk to me?" Here's the thing. Well, let me just explain what happened to him yesterday. So, yeah, he just told him about Naruto being between life and death. And that he will basically come back to life every time he dies. And that he's going to stop aging when he hits adult age. Which, that, like, you can just see steam coming out of, like, Aruka's, head. Hiruzen's just rubbing his, temples. He's like, "So let me get this straight. Rogue ninjas did this to Naruto, and they were probably from the Hidden Leaf Village that did not like the fact the boy was not dead." It's like, "I see. That makes sense. So what's gonna happen?" He was like, "Oh, easy. Well, if any one of you, spreads this, tell anyone about my existence and Naruto's, as all of a sudden, magical, magic is being flown into air as everyone that was in the room, that was awake, suddenly gets this marking on their neck." He goes, which Hiruzen Aruka is shocked, and he says, "Your memories will be wiped clean, and you could possibly never even remember who you are. Everyone will think you have amnesia, and, well, you'll go on with your life never knowing." Which, they're shocked by this. And this is not ninjutsu, this is magic. Ancient magic. You will never know the true meaning of it. You can never even dispel it. So do not test me, humans. Which, Sauron's eyes are glowing basically with fire, and because of the fire in them, as they all nod. Well, basically Hiruzen and Aruka. And, well, Sauron disappears. And, yeah. So he was like, "Sorry, but he does have a point." But then he goes, "Do you know about?" He was like, "The Nine-Tails Fox? Yeah. He's gonna be with me always, I assume." So, Hiruzen puts the thumbs up. So, yeah. So basically, that was like the next day, And so what happens, like I said, during this time skip, yeah, Naruto has learned everything he could. He has trained himself. He's basically become better with sword. Because all they did shadow walk all the way to where Mordor and Middle Earth was, and they found where the Nazguls and the Witch King were. So yes, in a way, Naruto became a Grave Walker, but also the next Dark Lord if he ever wants to. I kind of just put that out there. I mean, when we know it's from Shippuden, you do know he needed a little bit of a more boost than just being an ordinary grave walker. So, yeah. Anyways, so the thing is, the most funniest thing is this. He found, the Nazguls and the Witch King, and they haven't trained Naruto. Each one have been, training him in different ways. It helping him study his ninjutsus, finding, some ninjutsus that he could probably, try out. Even finding out ways to, have Naruto learn his elemental, what he will be best with, and then try to train him in it. Which, technically, I want to say it's wind and fire, but also because he has Sauron, it's basically could be actually all of them. To be honest, legit. So, yeah, why not? I mean, yeah, just augment magic. Change have Naruto's chakra natures to be all of them. Yep, he basically has all chakra natures. So, yeah, he's basically doing whatever he can to get stronger. And the fact is, he still is gonna be he's not gonna be Rookie of the Year because he doesn't really want anyone to know about his strength. I mean, he technically could get the armor of the Dark Lord, but in this case, instead of a mace, I mean, it would be technically sword, but it can transform into a mace too when it's in that mode. So yeah. Anyways, so what happens though during this days? We're just skipping to when it's I guess the time of them becoming ninja. You see, Iruka has been watching Naruto, and he's been reporting to the Hokage. That was one of the conditions that, well, he wasn't asked that day. So, yeah, and basically, Naruto, basically, the Hokage and Iruka know what he can do. So basically, he does the normal Shadow Clone. Basically, his chakra control has become even better than what it should be. So he basically makes Shadow Clones. But then Iruka says, now goes, gotcha. And then he does the multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu, the transformation Jutsu, and the substitution Jutsu. So yeah, anyway, so after that, he does get his headband. Mizuki can't do anything. And, well, let's just say, one of the things from Shadow of Mordor and War is going to happen. So, see, the Nazgul have been keeping an eye on certain people. Mizuki was one of them, and basically they found out that he was a spy for the village. I mean, he was basically going to betray the village. I mean, not a spy. He was going to betray the village and such by stealing the scroll of Seum, but he was going to use Naruto. But since Naruto, did pass, he can't do it. So he tries to get some other kids doing it, but they don't. So he's gonna have to do it himself. Instead, the Anbu, they let the Nazgul tell the Anbu that are watching to let him take it, let our Lord deal with him. They don't understand it, but they were told by Hiruzen to listen to these people for good reasons, because they're a lot stronger than them. So yeah, so when Mitsuki gets to the safe spot, Naruto was already there. He was like, "So, Sensei Mitsuki, I see. You really you really are going to betray the village, huh?" It's like, what the, Naruto? As Naruto's just leaning against a tree with shadows covering him, but when the moonlight comes in, it's revealed he's there. Which he was like, "What? What do you mean? I'm just taking this and I'm gonna give it to the third Hokage." He's like, "Quit your lying. I already know about your betrayal. I already told the third Hokage about it a long time ago. Probably a month before you can't even try it." It's like, what? Then why is he? It was... Oh, it's so simple. As Naruto, has his blade on him, his sword, he takes it out. As Mitsuki's like, "Wait, you know how to use a sword?" He's like, "Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but I do. And besides, As Naruto does, like, hand starts glowing. As all of a sudden, like, Mizuki feels a lot more heavier. He goes, it's not like you can stop me from killing you. Which is like, what the? And so, Sauron's saying, when Naruto comes in, he's like, wait, you can use gravity magic? He's like, I mean, it's kind of obvious. I mean, you did teach me some of it. So I just thought of trying about magic. And boom, I was able to do some of it. Which Mitsuki thinks this kid's crazy. And so he goes up to Mitsuki, and, well, Sauron says to him, do not kill him. We can use this advantage. We can use him. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, we could dominate his mind. He was like, huh? Dominate? He's like, yes. You should be ready for it since it has been a year or two. Let's try it out, Naruto. As when basically Naruto touches Mitsuki's face, he goes, you shall obey me! Basically, he basically sees, Sauron, and the actual Dark Lord's outfit, as basically Mitsuki is, well, starting to have his mind to be dominated. As then afterwards, and the mark is technically will be there of a handprint, but it slowly changes into a helmet. A tattoo of a helmet. At which Mitsuki says, my lord, say your wish and I shall do your bidding. He goes, what? Basically, Sauron goes, it seems it worked. Because Naruto goes like, what does dominated mean? He's like, you dominate the person's mind and will. You're making them your servant. It seems like he was a weak-minded fool, easily manipulative. Our words would have done, the exact same thing, but he has no chance of betraying us. I think. Your will is strong, Naruto. So if he tried to gain his will, he would fear you. Believe me. As, Naruto nods. And so, what happens is this. He basically looks at Mizuki. He goes like, tell me, why would you steal the scroll ceiling? He goes, to give it to Orochimaru. He would have given me, new jutsus to become even stronger. And I could have used them, even wrote down some of the other, scrolls. The other texts in the scroll to become even, more money from different villages. As Naruto says, I see. Come with me. We'll talk to the third Hokage about this. He goes, yes, my lord. As, Mitsuki and Naruto get back to the Hidden Leaf Village. And Hiruzen is there. And he goes, at the gate, he goes, Naruto. He goes, third Hokage. I brought the traitor back with us, but he's under my, we could say, command. He's like, I see. It's very interesting. How are you able to? He's like, you know how with your crystal ball. He's like, yes. So, Naruto orders, Mitsuki to tell Hiruzen everything that he knows and anything he has ever done that has been wrong. And, yeah. Since basically this could be punishable by death, but since he is under Naruto's control, which he always will be, Naruto says he'll technically give up his life for this village. But in a more traditional sense. He'll basically will basically listen to my commands. Which Hiruzen says really, he's like, and then basically Mitsuki says, yes, I will listen to my lord. And so Hiruzen goes, alright, he should be punished by death, but if he's under your control, Naruto, that'll be fine. And basically Naruto looks at Mitsuki. He was like, here's the thing. You basically would go on no missions but be teaching the next generation. And you will have no grudge against them, even if they were ever called a demon. Got it? As he nods, he goes, and furthermore, whatever money you can earn from your past missions, from the families that, people that you've killed, you at least will give them some, well, you know, some knowledge on how they died instead of saying they died in a mission by unknown ninja. Or, actually, no, that will be bad. They will want you dead. Just do more good and don't have any schemes. Got it? As he nods. So, yeah, Naruto basically does, leave, and Hiruzen's side, which Danzo appears, he's like, Hiruzen, why was Naruto ordering Mizuki like he was at one of his subordinates? And he goes, I cannot say. Which he goes, what do you mean? He's like, I cannot say, Danzo. Which he gives him a look as Danzo nods. So he realizes Hiruzen's life isn't threatened. Whatever it is, he cannot allow it, to happen. But he has to be careful. If it has to do with Naruto, he has changed in these past 2 years. So, we would technically also have the whole entire Konohamaru scene happen, but Naruto would tell him exactly the same thing in line, in the whole entire anime, even tricking the, his teacher exactly the same way, because we have to have some Naruto moments. So we would technically go to the academy. Since, Naruto was the dead last, so to speak, in everyone's eyes, and even in paper, they, everyone suspected Naruto to be on a bad team. So, when basically it's the, selection, no one, there's basically a group with everyone besides Naruto. There was, some people that transferred into the classroom, so yeah. Which everyone's, confused, and, Ruko says, Naruto. Hold on. Okay, sorry. So basically, he says, Naruto, I know you should be on a team, but, the Hokage, the Hokage was already, how should I say this? Wanted you to be on your own team for a little bit, because we have to talk to some teachers. So, right now, you are temporarily an Anbu, which everyone is shocked by this. Naruto's even surprised. And Naruto says, and you do know why. Then he realizes what he did 2 days ago. He goes, and he nods. So, he asks, who will be my captain? Basically. And Naruto says, oh, you actually are going to be on your own. Which he just has an eyebrow raised. Which everyone's shocked by this. And I want to say, Sasuke about to say something. But, just raise her hands, Iruka, why? It's like, oh, you see, I've been watching Naruto for these past 2 years, and reporting to the Hokage, and believe me, a ninja way of deception is the greatest tool. Did you not know that, all of you? Which they all look at Naruto, he just, doesn't even grin, he goes, they didn't even think of that, I was even fooling them. The only who truly figured it out was actually Shikamaru. Which he says, don't expose me. It's like, let me guess, you can say, what a drag? He's like, what a drag. He's like, there it is. So everyone's shocked by this. And, Naruto says, when's my first mission? Which he just says, oh, you can get it right away. He goes, alright. So, he basically gets up and just starts walking out of the place. Sasuke's pissed, Sakura's shocked. Everyone's shocked. But, asks Ruka if she can go to the bathroom real quick, which he does say okay. But in reality, while Naruto's walking, he's just taking his time. As then he hears Ino's voice. She was, basically, he looks back, he sees Ino, and he was like, yes, Ino? She goes, what happened to you? He goes, huh? Remember when you saved me? He's like, and then he basically has a flashback to when they, when he was like 7. He did save Hinata, but again, no one liked him in the classroom, besides having a few friends. Was not one of them, but just, she did not like Naruto. But hold on, everyone. Alright, so, he remembers how he saved her and such. Basically, it was like, getting her away from bullies too. He's like, oh, yeah. What do you mean I changed? She just says, she's been way more distant from everyone. Cold even, sometimes. And it doesn't look like you will have life in your eyes at some points. As he just looks at her and he just chuckles, he was like, don't worry about me, I'm fine. It's just something happened to me. That's all. Nothing bad. And you don't have to worry. It's not like you, even had, like me or anything, right? We're not even that close friends. Or even friends at all. She's just like Sakura. All you care about is Sasuke Uchiha. And all Hinata does is, talk to Kiba. Even though I helped her out, she doesn't even think about me. That's what I get for helping out people who are ungrateful. Which, is surprised. He goes, but, doesn't matter. I'm still gonna do it. It's the right thing to do. Anyways, see ya. As Naruto, was walking away. For some reason, when, Naruto said that, she can feel like her chest is hurting. But she doesn't know why. Yeah, I'm just trying to set up maybe some ships. But, just so I can choose from which one. To be honest. So, as Naruto basically gets out of the place, Sauron goes like, don't you think that was a little bit much? Because when Naruto goes like, I mean, it's the truth. Even after helping her out, she still ignored me. She even called me basically, same thing as Sakura, useless. Sasuke's better than, me. And anytime we even fought me and Sasuke, they always cheered for him, so what's the point of even caring? Which Sauron does say it may be because of all this village. You can't hate the younger generation in the same age as you. He was like, I don't hate them. I just, dislike them. Hold on. Alright, sorry. Anyways, when Naruto gets to Hiruzen, he was like, alright, Hiruzen, what do you need me to do? He was like, oh, Naruto. Well, I want you to go on a couple of D-rank missions, 2 of them. Then the next missions are going to be going out of the village. Bring your Nazguls and the Witch King with you. He nods. So he does, D-rank missions. He does them real quick. He gets back to Hiruzen, gets the money, then goes on the missions. Well, the A-rank missions, which is like 3. In which, let's just say, some bandits. Next are some criminals. In which, where they were from Gado's gang, he basically did not kill them all, but he also, turned them into his subordinates. And, yeah. So, he basically takes care of that. And a lot of other stuff happens throughout this month. You see, I want to say this. One of the team members, from a team quitted. Yeah, but I don't know which one. And well, I want this video to upload, but I'm gonna say it later. Which team he wants to get into in the next video. Yeah, you guys are gonna be waiting for that one. So Naruto's doing the missions and such, and he basically has the armor of the Dark Lord out on some missions that are basically him has to go into an area and take out as many enemies as he can. So yes, and he does a little bit of fire magic and does some ninjutsus, which, well, oh my god, it's damaging to a lot of these guys. Most of them are dead. Some are basically turned into subordinates, and they help give back the resources to the people they stole. And I mean they do well. In order to do look at them and kill them in the woods, basically how their heads will blow off. Yeah, so he just then buries them. Yeah, he's somewhat becoming not having a pure heart, but still a good enough heart. But anyways, continuing on. So during this one time, basically, gets to the Hokage as he sir, I'm back from my mission. He's like, Naruto, you've done a lot of A rank missions, B rank missions, and even at 2 S rank missions, and survived. Impressive. He goes, thank you, sir. What is it that you need me to do now? Which he then says, Naruto, you basically have been alone all this time. Everyone thinks, well, you shouldn't be even. You got to be on a team. Even the council have been arguing with me for the whole entire month on this. Even though you have great results by yourself, they still think you should be on the team. And then he says, and to be watched by someone. He does not. He goes, which team shall I be on? And he goes, you will choose. You can choose. These are the teams that some have given up on or transferred to different teams. Due to what they needed. In which Naruto's looking at the teams and such, and he goes, wait, he left this team? He goes, yes, but he's on a different team. They were better suited for him, turns out, and they basically he's increased on his, his family bloodline's, jutsu. Which he's shocked by this. And he just saying wow. Huh. Alright then. So he transferred over to the Chiha and Harano girl then. And this team member left. Which he nods. Basically Arisen nods to this. And goes, alright. Each team member, they're getting new members on the team anyways. Each one besides this one. Why is that? Which, he says, to be honest, I think you'll be a good use to them. And the fact is, this member, the captain of this team is my son. He's basically, he overheard me talking about you to myself. I did not realize it, as Izuku knows he's not lying. Sauron says, comes out and says, a mistake can happen, Lord Third. Do not let it happen again. Beware your surroundings. Which Hiruzen nods. So he does this. He does go back to, disappearing. Which Naruto goes, so I'll be joining this team. And, it seems like your son will be an excellent teacher. Hopefully he can teach me more than wind style jutsus. Which Hiruzen's eyes widen. He's like, what? How do you... He was, oh, I have all 5 chakra natures. Which his eyes widen and he was like, oh, also magic comes in handy when you technically want to give yourself other natures of elements. Just to point that out. And he just walks away out of the place. He goes back to his home, and it's a lot cleaner. And he does actually get his own. Like, he doesn't go to the grocery store. He actually gets his own food, and he has his own little area for like some meats and such. To like so he has to get like deer meat or boar. He does whatever he needs to do. He has his own little place for it. He even grows his own vegetables there and such. And he shares some with the ramen shop, so they have way more of a selection of, ramen. Which he does go there, and eat, but not all the time. And yeah, so Sauron says, "Are you sure about this? She's in there." He goes, I know, but she's been trying to talk to me more lately. And I keep ignoring her. I don't want to be like the Uchiha. Ever since everyone found out he's dating Haruno, he's been way more of a jerk to everyone. And all the girls still like him, besides this one. So she can't really be that bad. Sauron just tells him, alright, we'll have to meet them tomorrow. I know. I'm gonna get some sleep. Also, Kurama, how's the shadow clones coming? Which Kurama, tells him they're coming out fine. They're just training a lot basically on chakra control, fighting, and studying. He was right. I'm gonna come in there and release the studying one by one. Which he does nod. So basically, he, releases them. They were just studying history of what Kurama knows. And he goes, okay, yeah, I definitely gonna need to sleep after this. Then he does to the ones that were doing the chakra, control. And then the training ones, basically physical wise. And then he feels tired. He's like, yep, definitely going to need it. So, yeah, that's what he does. He does go to sleep. And this is where I'm going to leave it off. Because I want you guys... I want you guys to see what team it's going to be. And also, I'm going to have to go to work soon. So, yeah. Bye, everyone. Have a nice day, night, wherever you are, and bye.